Right, let's go back to some politics now in the upcoming by-election in Ikaroa-Rawhiti. I'm joined now by our political commentator, Colin James. Good morning, Mr James. How are you this morning?
Kia ora, Rachel.
Kia ora.
Good, thank you.
So, who's going to win this electorate, do you think, in the wake of the death of Parekura Horomia? Yes. Well,
Labour has a big buffer of 6,500 votes that Parekura Horomia had in the general election, in the electorate vote. The Maori Party is in difficulty and decline and some turmoil. It's not really Mana Party's patch, so logically the Maori Party should win. Add in the fact that Parekura Horomia had an extensive network that he'd organised, runs right through the electorate. That gives Labour the base to build a campaign on. It'll bring people in from outside. And then the final point is who's going to be the candidate, and Labour's very keen to get a strong candidate. Now that'll be decided between Ngāti Porou, Ngāti Kāingungu, and Ngāti Kāingungu is the bigger tribe, except that Ngāti Porou is at both ends. And so I think in the end the final voice goes to Ngāti Porou in that. But it has to be worked out between the two of them.
Who do you think we are likely to see as candidates then? Because these appointments are crucial, aren't they?
Well, I don't want to speculate on that. I think that that'll be sorted out over the next couple of weeks, and I simply don't know enough. But it is crucial because Labour has been bothered about the quality of its candidates overall, and it's been very keen to get a stronger candidate for this next election. And in fact, Parekura Horomia was supposed to sort out, or the idea was he was going to sort out his successor for the 2011 election, and he would have gone on the list. That hasn't been done. But there is an issue there, and Labour's bother is to make sure that they have candidates who would get into the top 6 of a cabinet on merit. Well, Shane Jones, sort of there he's got needs a bit more gravitas and a bit more hard work, I think, and he's got to show more of that. Also, Kelvin Davis is not in the House. Now, he was highly regarded in the last term as an up-and-comer, but he's next on the list, but not in the House at the moment.
We've seen some quite amazing camaraderie, if you like, across both sides of the political sphere, with Maori MPs coming together in Tolaga Bay. We've seen Tariana Turia too. Well, I've certainly noticed she seems quite pensive in a way, talking about the time when Parekura Horomia could have crossed, could have followed her into the Maori Party. She said that Maori politics could have been very different if he'd done so.
Well, it definitely could have been, but Parekura Horomia is a uniting figure, and I think that's what's come through in the comments from nearly everybody. The very point you've just made about the cross-party feeling for him. He was a person that was well liked and united people and could unite people within Maoridom as well. The fact that he chose to stay with the Labour Party was critical at the time for Labour, and I think in the long run critical for the Maori Party as well, because it's never been able quite to get the momentum since 2005 that the Foreshore and Seabed initiative kicked off. But if we take this a bit further, go down the track to the next election, there might well, and in fact I think there will be, an 8th Māori electorate on the current way in which the Māori option's likely to go. And there's a big question about which party wins that electorate, because it's up for grabs. And the Labour Party would dearly like to get back to having a mortgage on all the seats. It's a long way from that at the moment. And Tariana Turia is the blockage so far.
So you think there really are some wider political ramifications of this by-election?
Yes, I do. There's the ramification I mentioned before about Labour really getting top quality candidates, and there's that ramification of where Labour fits in the Maori electorates from here on, because that stranglehold, that mortgage was broken in 1993 by Tauhanere, and then the Tight Five in 96, and then the Maori Party. And socioeconomically, the Māori electorate should be Labour. And in fact, it still does pretty well, 41% in the party vote last time across the Māori electorates. But it hasn't got back that strength in the electorate vote that it needs. And it's still conceding quite a lot to the Maori Party. And then, of course, the iwi are developing. We heard a lot about that before, the settlements and the way in which iwi are developing are moving to some extent away from Labour and towards the middle and towards national.
In 2008, I think it was, Derek Fox did very well in the electorate. Is this, if you like, this by-election a referendum on Maori Party support?
No, I don't think so. I think that the Maori Party itself is struggling to find its weight and its place now. It came in as an against party, against the foreshore and seabed. It hasn't really ever developed into a for party. The nearest it's got, and I think this is quite an important move, is whānau ora. And that's Tariana Turia's significant achievement, but yet to be proven. And so what does the Maori Party stand for? It's had the trouble of trying to paddle two waka. And one waka is with the Māori iwi leadership, and they tend to, those people, those heavyweights, tend to lean towards the National Party. And the socioeconomic base is the bulk of the electorate. And trying to marry those two, mostly they go along parallel, but every now and then they diverge, and this has been the Maori Party's problem, working out where it fits. In fact, if you look at the way that it votes, if you look at the sort of comments that it's been making since the 2011 election, it sounds and looks more like an opposition party than a governing party. So it's got an identity problem that goes quite deep, and it goes well beyond this by-election.
Colin James, appreciate your analysis this morning. Thank you.